Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. I know you've been following KULR Technology Group, and there's been some interesting movement lately. So we're gonna take a look at all the information you shared and kind of try to unpack what's really significant here. We're going to look at some of the recent stock activity and some of the technical signals and just kind of the core factors that are driving this company.
Yeah, it's certainly a company worth a closer look when we see this kind of activity.
So let's just jump right in. As of March 26th, 2025, the stock hit $1.71. That's a pretty significant jump, 12.5% up in just the last 24 hours.
Wow.
But what's also interesting is just within that day, the price fluctuated between $1.48 and another 156 and 10. So what could be driving this kind of this recent climb? What's the immediate spark?
Well, with a company of this size, a lot of things could cause a short-term pop like this. Investor sentiment can change really quickly. Sometimes it's just whispers of news can create, buying pressure. Maybe the stock had just declined, more than its intrinsic value, and this is kind of a quick recovery. Who knows?
Right. Now, if we switch over and look at the technical side of things, even with this recent upward move, there's a little bit of a note of caution here. The MACD indicator is reportedly showing potential for selling pressure in the very near future. And this actually kind of lines up with the stock's much wider trading range over the past year, which was from $0.20 all the way up to $5.49. I mean, that tells us it can be quite volatile. So
Yeah.
from your perspective, what do these technical signals typically suggest, and how do we kind of make sense of this mixed picture?
Well, that's what's really interesting here, right? It's that disconnect between what's happening with the price right now and what the underlying momentum might be indicating. The MACD, which of course looks at the relationship between two moving averages of the stock's price, the fact that it's suggesting selling pressure, that implies that even with the recent buying, there might still be some weakness there. Maybe earlier investors are thinking about taking their gains. And that wide annual range that you mentioned, that really emphasizes how sensitive this stock can be to news and events. So I think for you, it means that this recent increase doesn't necessarily signal a sustained long-term trend. It's too early to tell.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And it seems that technical analysis overall is kind of leaning towards a hold recommendation at this point, which would suggest that yes, we've seen this positive short-term movement, but the longer-term trends and these other indicators are suggesting maybe a more cautious stance. The advice seems to be to kind of wait for a little more stability or some clearer buy signal. So why might analysts be so hesitant to give a stronger recommendation, even though we've seen this recent price bump?
Well, that's the $1 million question, right? Why
Yeah.
why the caution? I think analysts often look beyond just, a day or two of price action. They're trying to gauge the fundamental health of the company and its future prospects. A hold recommendation often means that while there might be short-term positive movement, the longer-term moving averages could still be pointing to a downward trend. Or maybe the relative strength index, which measures the speed and change of price movements, maybe that's getting close to a level that suggests the stock is becoming overbought. Maybe the recent gains aren't going to last. So analysts, they want to see, more solid evidence of a real turnaround before they get too excited.
Right. No, that definitely makes sense. So to give us kind of a little bit broader context here, KLR Technology Group focuses on thermal management technologies for electronics and batteries. They offer things like shields to prevent lithium-ion batteries from overheating. They also have systems that automatically screen battery cells for defects. And this technology, it has a lot of potential uses. We're talking electric vehicles, energy storage solutions, even 5G devices. They've been around since 2013, headquartered in San Diego.
Well,
So how does this core business that they're in relate to how the stock's performing and its potential down the road?
Well, I mean, you have to connect this to the bigger picture, right? KULR are operating in sectors that are expected to just grow significantly. I mean, think about it: increasing demand for electric vehicles, the expansion of energy storage for renewable power, the rollout of 5G infrastructure. All of these things rely on effective thermal management. And KULR, their focus on these specialized areas like battery overheating protection, it puts them in a specific niche with growing needs. So their long-term success and ultimately the stock performance, it's likely going to depend on their ability to keep innovating, to win contracts in these key areas and to scale up their operations effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's take a look at some of their past financials. In the second quarter of 2024, KLR reported revenue of $2.43 million. And that was actually a decrease from the $2.7 million they reported in the same period a year earlier. Their profit margin also went down, and they had a net loss of $5.89 million. They had $2.94 million in cash and accounts receivable as of June 30, 2024. So what do these numbers tell us about where the company has been heading financially?
Well, the thing that jumps out from those figures is that it's a bit of a mixed bag, The fact that their revenue declined and they're still experiencing a net loss, that certainly raises some concerns. It suggests they're facing some headwinds in growing their sales and becoming profitable. That lower profit margin, it could mean that their production costs have gone up or they have less flexibility in their pricing. And while that cash and accounts receivable figure gives us a glimpse into their short-term liquidity, it's important to consider that in light of their ongoing losses.
Right. So it's important to acknowledge, some of the potential warning signs here, like the revenue decline and those continued losses. But there's some positives too, right? Their revenue from contract services actually saw a pretty significant increase, and they also landed a pretty notable contract with NASA for automated battery cell testing. So how do we kind of weigh those positive developments against the negative financial trends?
I think that brings up a really important point about the company's, potential trajectory. That growth in contract services revenue, that could be an early sign that their technology is gaining traction and might lead to more product sales down the road. And that NASA contract, that's not just a small win. That's a huge validation of their technology, especially coming from, such a demanding customer. It could really open doors to other big opportunities, both with government agencies and commercial clients. But we have to balance that against those fundamental challenges of overall revenue decline and the fact that they're still losing money. So the key is going to be to see if this growth in contract services actually translates into substantial product revenue and if they can improve their profitability going forward.
Right. Now, in addition to all this, KULR had also been pretty actively forming strategic partnerships. One significant one that was announced on February 13, 2025 was their collaboration with Worksport. And the goal of this partnership is to enhance battery technology and boost U.S.-based manufacturing. So why are these kinds of partnerships so important for a company like KULR?
Well, I think what's particularly interesting about these collaborations is the strategic advantages they can offer. For a smaller company like KULR that's really focused on innovation, partnerships can give them access to new markets. They can, get their hands on complementary technologies, and it allows them to expand their manufacturing capabilities, much faster than they could on their own. And specifically, this partnership with Worksport, focusing on battery tech and domestic manufacturing, that aligns really well with current market trends and government initiatives, which could really help KULR, accelerate their growth and potentially reduce the risks associated with global supply chains.
Now, KULR operates in the thermal management and battery safety sector. And while we don't have a super detailed list of their specific competitors here, this is an area that is very much focused on innovation. But KULR's partnerships, especially that one with NASA, that could give them a real leg up in terms of credibility and just being seen as being on the cutting edge of technological advancement. So how crucial is this competitive positioning for their long-term success?
You have to think about the big picture, right? A strong competitive position is absolutely vital for any company that hopes to succeed over the long haul. And in a technology-driven industry like thermal management, constant innovation, having unique selling points, that's essential. And that NASA partnership, that's not just a feel-good story. It provides a huge boost to their credibility. It suggests that their technology is really at the forefront. So that can really set them apart from more general thermal solution providers. and it could lead to, more contracts, a larger share of the market.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, looking ahead, what are some of the potential catalysts that could drive KULR's growth? I mean, we know future earnings reports are going to be important, obviously, but they also face risks. Things like competition and potential changes in regulations for the energy storage sector. So, what are the key things that you say, someone who's been following this should be watching for in the future?
Well, for you, there are a few key areas to really keep a close eye on. First, you definitely want to track their revenue growth in upcoming earnings reports. See if that increase in contract service revenue is starting to translate into stronger overall sales. Second, pay attention to any announcements about new products, significant new contracts, particularly in those key markets like electric vehicles and energy storage. And finally, stay informed about any potential regulatory changes in the energy storage sector, because those changes could create both new opportunities and potential challenges for KULR.
Okay. And then finally, it's worth noting that KULR has a beta of 1.26. And just for those who might not be familiar, beta is a measure of a stock's volatility relative to the overall market. And a beta above 1, that suggests higher volatility. So given everything we've talked about, what is this level of volatility? What does that mean for someone who's following the stock?
Well, it raises an important consideration about risk tolerance, right? A beta of 1.26 tells us that this stock tends to experience, bigger price swings compared to the market as a whole. So for you, that means you should be prepared for some potentially significant price fluctuations, both on the upside and the downside. That higher volatility, it offers the potential for greater returns, but it also comes with a greater risk of losses in the short term. So it's definitely a key factor to keep in mind as you continue to monitor the company's progress.
So pulling all this together, you have a company with some really interesting, potentially game-changing technology. And we've seen some recent positive movement in the stock price. However, the technical analysis is suggesting that we should still proceed with caution, and their past financial performance, it highlights some ongoing challenges. But their strategic partnerships and innovative focus, that definitely offers potential for future growth. So hopefully, this overview has given you a clear understanding of KULR Technology Group based on the information you shared. And if you found this helpful and you'd like to stay up to date on more in-depth analysis, please subscribe, like, and leave us a comment with any further questions you have.